Okay, let's see if this works. Good chat. Please work. Okay, we got it. I'll sign in. Whoa, shit a sec. Wait a second. Gotta do this. Let's put that out the way. That's my control panel. And I should probably sign. It says sign into chat. So I have to sign into chat on my own thing. Let's see if it figures it out. Okay. Oh, great. It's asking me for my email. And I can't really do this. So let me actually just go to the live thing. This is where it's going to be. Let's see if this works. Aha! So if I go to live astronomy, take two, go to the video. Aha! I can see you guys chatting now. Great, I'm just trying to figure this out. We're trying to do this. If you were around earlier, then you'll know what we're up to. You just closed a dockable window. Would you like to show it again? Yes, I'd like to show it again. I don't know how to do that. So anyway, can I pop this out? I'll pop out chat. There we go. And I don't care about the rest of the window, and I don't care about that window. Excellent. Hi. Find 33434. I think I looked and the position of Comet Scott Manley is in the wrong place right now. Currently, I'm 20 minutes into imaging. Actually, it appears to have stopped updating the data. So we just have no more data coming in from Andromeda. So I think that's the best we're gonna get. It says enhanced vision disrupted. Look at that, huh? We get some nice stuff now. I can slide it around? Nope. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, it's saying enhanced vision interrupted. And that usually means, there's all sorts of things it can mean, but it's probably meaning that I'm just bouncing around too much. So we should probably actually select a new target, right? So my setup right now is out on the window there. There is an iPhone sitting, and then up there is a Unistellar EV, not an EV scope, an Odyssey Pro. There is no filters or anything on this. So what we should probably figure out is what can I actually see. So it's got to be like in the northern hemisphere overhead. What I could look for is like a planetary nebula or something. Is the dumbbell nebula 46 degrees up? Let's try going for that. It tells me that it might be a little too low, so let's just say yes, it's okay. So the way I'm streaming this, and this is really hacky, is that this is actually mirroring my iPhone. And my iPhone is sitting outside on the deck, and it's talking using the app to the Unistellar telescope on the roof. Is that not magic? Well, you know what they say, a sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. So the Unistellar Odyssey Pro, it's an iPhone 13 Pro Max. So anyway, the way it works, what was I going to say? So yes, so this telescope is a fully automated digital telescope. It's basically a camera. And it's a camera that it understands that it's shooting things in the sky and things, it needs to track them. And as the stuff moves across the sky, it's constantly taking images, matching up any small variation in the motion, and laying them on top of each other. Now, right now, it's doing a slew. The way the slews work is that it moves to a position, takes a picture of the stars, and then figures out what part of the sky it's pointing at, and then tries to make a hop to a new location. So it has to solve these basically things. I think Western Australia, maybe, by the sound of things. Yes, so this is very true. I am not in a dark sky area. As you notice, I'm actually indoors. I've got a beer right now, by the way. It is a tumbler. It is a red Sierra Nevada ale. So I'm just going to chill out and see how this thing works. Yeah, this is not like top tier imaging by any means, but we are slewing to the dumbbell nebula. Because of the way the camera is working, by the way, like you've basically got two images, an image of the app on the left, and then you've got a zoomed in section of the app. I'm sure there is a better way to do this, but I can't figure it out. I'm just doing it the easiest way I know how. So I've got OBS running on my MacBook Pro, again, talking via Bluetooth to the phone, which talks via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to the telescope. And this laptop also talks via Wi-Fi to my home network, which will probably crap out and ruin the stream. That's just how it works. Okay, so it seems to be that we're in the right place. So let's actually start an enhanced observing thing. So again, this is the way you turn it on and it starts to go. So this, as I said, if you look at the description, by the way, there is a link to their sales site. If you want to look at it, they have 20% off. I'm not sure how much longer because it's a Black Friday deal. I'm not even sure they ship to Australia, to be honest. Somebody said they don't ship to Australia, and if that's the case, I am sorry. It means there's very little leveling and orientation needed before shooting. Okay, so this does not appear to be taking... Oh, wait, there it is. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. You see that? It zoomed out a little. That's why we couldn't see it. So there's the dumbbell nebula starting to come in. So you see this timer here? That shows you how much time the photo has been integrating for. Every 4 seconds, it's basically adding up the data and creating a more and more detailed image. And once it gets a couple of minutes in... Oh no, I totally took a photo. I started out with an image of Unistellar. So anyway, yeah, utility eulogy. If you follow the link in my description, then I will get an affiliate fee. I will make a percentage of the thing. So hey, you know, that would be nice if you have a ton of money and you feel like buying one of these things. But also there is a code there. Which if you use it, it's like Scott1124. If you put the telescope and the solar filter in and then use that code, you'll get the solar filter for free. So it's like, yeah, it's good. It's good if you want it, but this is, you know, stop insulting the nebula. This is the first clear night that I've really had in a while. When I picked this telescope up a while back, there was one clear night, and the problem was that I couldn't use that entire clear night because I had tickets to go and see Orbital perform the Green Album and the Brown Album. So I had to like basically go to this show, which was absolutely amazing. And then I had to come back, and then I took more pictures. So I got like an hour before, I got a couple of hours after, and then the next week was just non-stop rain. That's not true, actually. The Sunday night, Sunday night was foggy-ish. It wasn't great. So look, you see now this A icon has turned up. That's like it automatic color enhancement, where it basically makes everything even more colorful. So let's see if I can zoom in, and I should be able to drag this around, but it doesn't seem to want to do it. I don't know how to drag this. That price isn't... Yeah, if you're... Why isn't my affiliate code fly safe? I do not know. I will suggest that next time. But I think the reason why it's a limited time code, or a dated code, is because they don't want the code to be like the same over time. They want to be able to expire the code and come up with a new one. Yeah, normally I've been able to zoom in and drag this around, but it's not working. Wait a second. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. So there's a minor problem in that I need to operate this via a phone app. Can you take... Oh, so what you can do, Subvibes, is all the raw data on the telescope. I'm trying to do that. It's actually very complicated. With the telescope, you can actually download the raw data, and you can do all sorts of things to adjust the exposure and detail. You basically get in the raw stuff, and you can do all the processing that you would like. So anyway, let's bring up the stuff again. 3 minutes and 20 seconds of exposure. You know what? Horizon Wing Acoso, you might be true. I remember spending $1,500 20 years ago, and I got myself a 100 millimeter short tube refractor. It was a 60 centimeter focal length. And then I had a Nikon DSLR, which probably costs about $1,000 these days, and a T mount for it. And with that, I would also had a mount, an Orion Skyview Pro mount. The mount cost more than the telescope, and it had a motor. And you had to set the telescope up on solid ground, which meant that it had to be in the ground. It couldn't be on your roof or anything. Then you had to align it with the pole star, and then you put your camera on, got it all focused. It was never quite in focus. You'd get it lined up, and then it wouldn't be lined up, and then you could take a photo. And because the motor wasn't perfect, because the gears weren't specifically correct enough, because of wobble, because of the phase of the moon, you couldn't get more than like a 20-second exposure, or the stars would leave trails. So you would take a lot of 10, 15, 20-second exposures, tons of them. And then over time, you would, at the end of the night, you would take that card and you would plug it into your computer, and you would download all those images. And then you would have to start adding up you would start combining the images on your PC. It would take hours, and then you would have to adjust curves and stuff. And so yeah, for what was probably equivalent of $3,000, yes, mirror lockup, that's right. Oh yeah, and you would inevitably find there was like dust and crap that ended up in your thing. Polar alignment is vastly more. I'm so glad that we have that North Star there. So this has made it vastly more affordable and easier. And I absolutely, totally understand that if you want that labor of love, it is totally within your rights to do that. I spent a lot of time on it, and I love it. I love the time that I spent. But this is so much. Diane Feinstein, I looked. T Corona Borealis has not flared up. It was supposed to. We were expecting that it would have done it sometime this year. I think September was the latest date that most people have said, but it has not gone off. And if it goes off tonight, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing? So yes, what you do is you just literally put it on your roof, you tell it to align, it looks at the stars, it finds the stars. It's good to then point at some, star cluster, and then it'll do all the tracking and photography and stuff for you. So this is very nice. Now, I'm going to be clear that this telescope is by a company called Unistellar. Again, look at the description if you want the details and if you want the deals. They started their company with a Kickstarter for something called the EV scope. And they sold a ton of them, but that was 7 years ago. Now, this is a sort of cheaper version. It's got a smaller mirror, lower resolution center. But the success of that scope means that there's actually a bunch of lower cost Chinese clones, and one that's pretty well known is ZWO's C-Star. Now that only has a 2 megapixel sensor and it has a 50 millimeter aperture, but it's only $500. So yeah, if you want to sort of get into this, but you don't want to spend this amount of money, C-Star, Dwarf, there's a bunch of all cheaper options. Skywatcher EQ Pro 6 is about, yes, it is ridiculous. It's easy. Astrophotography is one of these things where you can absolutely blow tons of money, and then you realize that you could just download better images from the internet. So do you think we've got enough detail on this? I'm going to take a snapshot with that and we'll store it for later. I'm liking that image. I would not. Maya Golden Magnate Space Ghost is asking about my super expensive spaceship which I own in EVE Online. It is not in Delve, it is in LowSec. There was no way I was going to have something that was worth more than some alliances in sitting in a place where it could get bubbled. I saw that Valonus Vespera. I saw that Brian May of Queen is using the Vespera, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, look, there's a few things you can actually do. Apparently, if you go in here, you can supposedly adjust exposure and stuff. I'm not sure how well it's going to work. Oh yeah, I think you turn off automatic. Let's see what happens. There. So, oh, let's try that. See what it does. There you go. So you make it brighter so you can see more details. Obviously, you can spend more time if you pull this into a computer. Brian May, as you may know, is an astronomer, and so he likes this kind of stuff. Dumbbell's looking great there. That's a planetary nebula. Basically, there's a star in the middle of that that's blown off its envelope, and yeah, that's basically it. It's a star towards the end of its life. I've no idea what that ship is worth. It's probably worth nothing because it would require somebody to fly it. What other objects should we look at? Shall we try Triangulum? Or the blue flash? Or the blue snowball? The cocoon? We could actually come up with some other ideas. You know, I don't know if the Pleiades is high enough up yet. We could take a look for that. Let's try Triangulum. Eta Carinae. I don't know if where that is. Let me take a look. It tells me this is 63 degrees above the horizon. Let's try this. So, let's go to observation. It's supposed to be doing the go-to. Talking about space, I would totally revisit Star Citizen. I'd like to hope that the massive racists that I had to deal with have decided not to hang around with the game. The nebula in Orion's sword is called the Great Nebula in Orion, and I really hope that we'll get to see that later. It's currently pretty low on the horizon. The Andromeda Galaxy is absolutely visible. I actually took an image of it earlier. I might be able to show you the picture that I took. Oh, in Star Citizen, I basically posted it when they added the FPS. What happened was the default character in that, which you could not change, was not a white dude. And I made a video about it, and I got so many terrible, hateful comments from Star Citizen players who were incredibly mad at it. And I'd already had a whole bunch of negativity, and I pretty much stayed away from that point onwards. It was awful, and I really hope the community has dealt with that kind of nasty stuff. I mean, keep on seeing videos and stuff, and it looks like it's expanded enough. Jupiter will probably be visible. We'll definitely see if we can take a picture of Jupiter in a while. The telescope is sitting on my roof, just up, pointed above my head here. Can you see my hand? Yeah, I know. Woke mind virus is a massive problem in this world. It looks like there are already burned pixels. You mean the giant pink thing? I mean, I was worried that Star Citizen may not have the funding ramp that it needed, given the grand vision. But apparently, people are just throwing money at it still. It looks like it might have got there. Let's see if we can take a picture of it. Jupiter will be at the horizon right now. Okay. I mean, you know, I should still have a bunch of ships in it. Yeah, it's as I said, the way I'm processing this is not giving you the best quality, but hey. Oh, look, there, it's starting to come out. Isn't this beautiful? If they can't make it right in 10... I mean, the funny thing is that, like, Elite Dangerous, it did its Kickstarter around the same time as Star Citizen. It then got released and then had a whole lot of add-ons and stuff. And then, at some point, they said, we're just putting it on life support now. and then they launched some other games which didn't do as well, and so now they're back on supporting it again. So Elite Dangerous is in its second life before Star Citizen actually gets done. Oh dear. So I'm wondering, does Star Citizen still treat the spaceships as being underwater objects on in the Cry engine? That was the sort of joke for a while, that sometimes it would think you were leaving the water, so you would have like water splashing on your face, and people were like, "Why is my water splashing on my face? I'm supposed to be in space." And they figured it out because the early versions, they just had the spaceships moving through the water in CryEngine. Drunk Paul Acosta. Oh, that, I totally understand that. Yeah, the technology is absolutely amazing. So now some of these things, some of the ones also have mosaic mode because the field of view is too small, so you can actually have this stuff take pictures and line them all up and stuff. So that's another thing that can go on. So I have not yet participated with the citizen science projects. I'm trying to figure that out, but I do know people that did. Um, so one of the nice things about Unistellar is they really wanted to uh, lean into the idea that you can use this consumer level telescope to contribute to real science. And so there's parts of the app that you can go into and say, okay, I want to take observations of, this potential eclipsing, this occultation by an asteroid, or the greatest example of this is when the DART spacecraft smashed into the Dimorphos asteroid and created the cloud. There were a bunch of Unistellar users around the world taking photos of it using their telescopes. That data that was then all uploaded to the servers, and the scientist in charge, I think her name's Ariel Gurkowski, she used that data, published a paper. The paper got accepted for Nature, and most of the authors on that paper were people like me that happened to own a telescope and used it. So that is one of the things I'm really excited to try doing with this, right? But it's great. Look, we're starting to see some real detail on the Triangulum galaxy. We've got 3 minutes of exposure here. Yeah, the exoplanet, I don't know, that was using Coro data, where they were looking for like exoplanet eclipses. Is the processing on the scope making things blur? It might a little. I don't know. I presume it's because it's called the Triangulum Galaxy because it's in the constellation of Triangulum, which I think would imply that it's just a triangle, which seems to be the lamest constellation ever. I honestly do not know a great deal about constellation names or stuff in the sky. See, I was more an astrophysicist rather than astronomer. I was much more interested in the physics of space, right? And so I could never figure out what that star was that I was looking at. So I wonder if we can, if I point this here and try stretching, I wonder if it'll work. Oh, there. Let's do this. I thought that would move. Nope. So my old research, I can't really, I'll tell you what, my old research never really got published. So yeah. I don't know if Elon will buy Hasbro, but if he does, it would be really nice if he would make the Dungeons and Dragons movie, give that a sequel, because that was really good. The Dungeons and Dragons movie is non-stop joy from end to end. And it was the movie we all deserved, and it deserves a sequel. That's what I'm going to say. Hasbro doesn't make Barbie, though. It was Mattel that makes Barbie, right? Your flight test preps. What's the procedure for soft field with obstacle? Wait, so you're trying to combine a short field and a short field and a soft field? I mean, you got to really exploit that ground effect. Oh, oh, I didn't. Oh, wait a second. I was looking out the window. I saw a bright light. This was just a few minutes ago that ISS flew over. I think I saw the ISS through the window, but I wasn't even paying attention. That's hilarious. HDE 226868. That is just a Henry Draper catalog thing. Oh, he also owns yeah, because Magic the Gathering was Wizards of the Coast, and they bought they bought Dungeons and Dragons, right? Because they bought the thing that they liked. You can do all sorts of things. So you can turn off like the enhanced color thing, and it'll get grey. See, boring. And then you can turn on the enhanced color stuff, and it'll make it magic. Ta-da! There, you see. Oh, okay, so never mind. Seabad Cruiser, that was a different one. I saw a bright object. It must have been a plane. But yeah, whatever. Enhance. Hasbro. I'm trying to think what they do other than Transformers. What can you see in the sky? I'm currently in Northern California. I'm near San Francisco, so yeah, it was probably just a plane. Is it possible to prove it's a real image versus a download? Well, why doesn't somebody figure out the right ascension and declination of a comet? Go on, look up the comet from... let me see if I can find it. And let's see if it's still there. I'm bringing up a web browser. It's going to take a minute, probably. Okay, new window. Okay, what's the name of the currently one that we're looking for? Comet C2023 Tushin Atlas. Okay, where is it now? I need right ascension and declination for it. The Sky Live. Okay, it looks like... Okay, so I see the numbers. Transit below the... Oh, it says below the horizon. Wait a second. Is this for... Oh, this is for Greenwich. Just give me right ascension and declination. Right ascension and declination. Where the heck... Here it is. Okay, I'm going to take this. So I'm going to snap this photo, right? And we're going to go and look for the comets. So I think what you can do is somewhere. Actually, let's try. No, there's a way to do go to. Here, I know what it is. Cancel. Watch. Click watch again. Move. Oh, where's obs? How the heck do I do the location? I forget. There's a way that you can go directly to a location. Because I definitely did it. How about this button? Park, turn off, status. Oh, 93%. Let's try going back. There was definitely a way that I remember to make it go to a specific coordinate. That's looking pretty good for 10 minutes though, right? Oh, sun. Yeah, we're not going to go to the sun. Let's just try typing in the coordinates. No, this is not right. How did I do the go-to last time? Search, guide, nebula, community, become a member, stuff, products. So this is like a set buying and selling stuff. Recommended objects. Oh. Yeah, it's not going to come up with that. There was definitely a way I did it in the past. That's like the... Observation page. Unit used, simple, precise. I don't want precise locations because they will show me where I am. Then we get stuff about my telescope. Does it automatic? No, you have to manually add the solar filter. I'll say that. What do you... Hello. Let's try move. Oh, wait. Is it this button? Hold on. Oh, wait. Let's turn off observation mode. Let's do that. Yeah, imagine being docked by a telescope. So the good news is that the pictures that it releases actually show latitude and longitude to within degree precision. I know, exactly. I live close to George Lucas, so, you know. What do I think about moon landing deniers? I deny that they exist. I don't believe those are real people. I think that Buzz Aldrin didn't actually punch anyone because nobody could disbelieve the moon landings. There we go. That's it. Now I remember. Okay, so now let's type in the coordinates where I'm told that there should be a comet. And this is going to be interesting. So it should be 19 hours, 10 minutes, and 30 seconds, roughly. And the declination should be 4... Oh, wow, we're actually pretty close. 4 degrees, 34 minutes, and 02 seconds. So I'll make this 1.9. And I'll click move, and we'll see if we can find a comet, right? So, if this is fake, right? Look at Discord, please. I can't look at Discord. I'm busy. I don't look at Discord. What? Why would I look at Discord? See, there's nothing on Discord. Sorry, you're imagining things. You guys. Well, let's see if it finds this thing. So anyway, the other proof that I like to point out that shows that this telescope is absolutely a real thing and not some fake object is this telescope is a real telescope because the day after I got it, we had a non-stop rainstorm for a whole week until I left California for a week. So I got a few hours to use this telescope. It brought in new telescope weather, and if that is not proof that this is a real telescope, I don't know what is. I looked at the details on the image that we displayed, and it was only low precision. So that is an option that we set because I didn't want to dox myself. Okay, it's still slow. Oh, does that look like does that look like a comet there? What do you think? Do you think that'll be a comet? It's still slewing. Why would I use this telescope to look at somebody's house when I already have a Nikon P1000 sitting there as well? Right? Okay, it seems that it has decided to go there, so let's actually try and move this. Let's turn on slow mode. I wonder if I can move this. Oh, there we go. Oh! I think I might have moved out of frame. I'm trying to bring this object into frame. I screwed it up. So there is a bit of a lag here, obviously. I think that's it up there. Come on, think about it. Think about it. It's really thinking hard. What camera do I use on my Mac Cass? I used to use a Nikon DSLR, but I don't use it anymore. I also had a like a Sony webcam. It was actually a Philips webcam that used a Sony sensor. I used that for a while. That's what I used to take photos of Saturn. I'm just trying to nudge this in, but it's totally like driving a rover on the moon. There's like a 1.5 second lag between me doing things. So I'm dragging this and seeing what happens. I think this is the star, and I want that, not the star, the comet, and I want that to be in the middle. Oh, just drag it a little more. The difference between astronomy and astrophysics is astronomy is much more observational. Astrophysics is much more interested in modeling things. You can see that it's moving across the sky. If I turn off slow mode, I will lose this thing. I think it's almost there. Let's start observing this thing. Right? We're going to see if a comet appears here. Right? I looked up the current coordinates. I'm not sure if we could see the asteroid map, Parker. Maybe you could figure out the right ascension and declination. Look at that! It looks like a comet! Wouldn't you know? It's not fake. The reticule button is what you use for go to a specific coordinate on the things. Yeah, it looks like a comet. It's got a tail. I'm sure it'd be nice if that was a way to do that. Ooh, stars. So as I said, like if you feel that you want to take advantage of the Black Friday deal, get 20% off. There is a code there that will let you get a free solar filter, but you have to put them both in the cart. This is Unistellar. They make fine hardware. It's expensive. Does it talk like a comet? It's rocking around the clock. No, I don't think you can just click on an area and select it. It is great that I'm actually sitting indoors and doing this. I mean, I could open the door, but it might cause some vibration and stuff. Is there a comet stacking option in you as opposed to just using stars? That is a very good question. If you did want to do this, so Caleb is asking basically, can you stack a comet versus stacking against the background? Because the comets, of course, move against the background. And that means the comet will be blurred, and you want to have different motion compensation for this. So the way you would do this is not use the app. You would download the raw images from the telescope, and then you would process it on your own. Right? So you can do all your fancy stuff if you want. You just have to spend the time and effort. That's definitely looking like a comet, right? What is a comet? I know a lot about comets. Let me tell you, what's the difference between a comet and an asteroid? That is a question which is, there's a lot more fuzziness with comets. Ha! It's a fuzzy problem, but asteroids can be fuzzy too. My God, it's coming straight at us! What about multiple photos in the app? Comets are made of ice and rock. I mean, asteroids tend to be... Here's the secret, right? We talk about rocks in the solar system, but when you get far enough out, water is considered a mineral, right? because water pretty much is as hard as rock when you're out at the outer planets. Hey, I'll follow you from Stockton. Uh, well, if we're ever in the same place, who knows? Is that from the belt? No, this is actually from the Oort cloud. It's on a, like, I don't know, 72,000 year orbit or something like that. Is NGC 281 visible? I do not know. Water is a mineral on Earth and therefore a rock. So this is the enhanced color option. You can see some of these stars are blue, or and some are red, but you know, right. So Titan's interesting because the temperature is low enough that methane can exist as both a liquid and a gas. So it is an almost perfect analog of Earth in that respect because you can actually have a hydrological cycle which uses methane. Right? If it was really like if it was too far on one side or the other, it might be that there's no or there's no cycle. Well, thank you, Lubo in China. Um, I'm just working with what I've got. Titan is cool. I'm very obviously incredibly excited for. Wait, did it say enhanced vision disrupted? Oh, that's not good. Let's see if it gets. Yeah, the timing seems to get stuck. Yeah, it might be that it's not tracking the object anymore. So yeah, we did get a picture though. Why don't we look for? Let's watch. Let's go pick this up. It does have a solar filter. The solar filter costs extra. If you use my link and my code and everything at the bottom, you can get the filter for free, but that's only good for the next 8 hours or so. Let's look at Pleiades and see if we can see this. It says that's 39 degrees above the horizon. So that should be high enough that we should be able to see Pleiades. It's warning me that I might not be able to. The only way I won't be able to see it is if there's clouds coming up. You have definitely been affected by liquid cow farts. I see. Oh yeah, how far is I should figure out how far what's its face Jupiter is above the horizon. I think it's regular frame. So one of the interesting things about the EV scope, not the EV scope, the Unistellar's hardware is they are mirror based, right? Which means they can see into the near infrared, so their sensors get slightly wider frequency range, I believe, than the refractors that are used by other telescopes. Jupiter's 23 degrees up. It might be hard to pick that out. Jupiter, best known as what's his face? Yeah, King of the Gods. Zeus. You know it. Whatever. Oh yeah, I saw the Celestron Origins. Uh, but does it need like a big heavy tripod? Is that separate? But the Celestron Origins, like it's a bit of a step up in terms of cost, but it gives you more aperture and a lot more customizability, I believe. Like I believe it's literally a Raspberry Pi that's sitting on there. So let's start this imaging, right? NSF invasion? We got an NSF? What? The National Science Foundation? Okay, let's see if this thing will chill out and start taking pictures. Yeah, for that, it is true. It's not an equatorial mount. Yeah, the Celestron Origin looks like an interesting piece of kit. If I had a ton of money, I'd be interested in that. Are you saying that Uranus is near the Seven Sisters? Celestron is still in business. It's Meade and Orion. Orion is definitely out of business. Meade is not really sure what state it's in. The part of the dragonfly that contains the nuclear material is its butt, right? It has a radioisotope thermoelectric generator sticking out of its ass. So this is taking a picture of the Pleiades. There should be some nebulosity in there, but it might take a while to go. Yeah, or the local company down in Watsonville, there are no more. It's really sad because it's my favorite. Are these your Christmas neighbors' Christmas lights? Yes, they are. That's exactly what I'm pointing at. They just like basic diffraction spiky, things. It's not Orion films either. It's not. It's a very small dub. It's only got an 85 millimeter primary mirror. It's a Newtonian, uh, and the field of view is about half a degree. Oh, there's an IO transit at 12. Just Job, you got to tell me what time zone you are in. Is this 12:32 as in, you know, 24 minutes from now? Or yeah, again we get enhanced vision being disrupted. Uh-oh. That's not good. I was really hoping that we get further through this. If it keeps on doing this, I think I'm gonna ask it to realign itself and just verify. Maybe it's getting windy outside. It doesn't look windy, it looks totally chill. Yeah, when it says enhanced vision disrupt, yeah, check the bubble level. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for it to align itself again, right? So let's just go back to home. We'll just do this. It's almost out of storage as well, but that's fine. Orientation. Okay. Sensor calibration. How do you... My telescope. Oh, yeah, wait a second. You got to take it out of observation mode to do this, right? Where is it? Watch. Oh! Wait, it started observing again. Hey! Look, it fixed it. Look, so now you're actually starting to see some of that nebulosity in there. Can you see that? There's little bits of nebulosity around there. Yeah, it's defragging the storage in the background. It should work just fine when it reaches 100% storage. That's a good question. I'm not sure how big the storage actually is. Do the northern lights affect your telescope? Of course they do. Do they ever come this far south? No, because they're northern lights, right? No, I looked, and my asteroid is on the other side of the sun right now. You don't upgrade the storage. The idea is that after every... So here's the thing. There's enough storage to work for an entire session of non-stop observing. And the idea is that afterwards, you just have it upload all its stuff to their servers. Except, I didn't do that. This is the low-level Odyssey. This is the Odyssey Pro. It technically has a little eyepiece on the side of the thing. I'm not using that, but I could totally see why having an eyepiece is great if you're doing like the science communicator thing. If you're doing outreach, then it's great to be able to control it from your phone or whatever, and then have kids or interested people go up and take a look through the eyepiece. I already took a picture of Andromeda earlier. I might be able to actually show you the picture I took of Andromeda. Oh, Pacific time, 12:32. Okay, so that's like 5 hours until we get a transit here. Well, I'm not going to be staying that out that late. So I'm wondering if I can look. I wonder if I can come back to this thing. So yeah, Pleiades is like I guess it's like an open cluster and relatively close by. A lot of young blue stars, and so you can definitely see these are very blue. You got Estes rocket. I actually there's some interesting stuff coming from Estes rockets very soon. They sent me some of them, but I'm sworn to secrecy as to what they are. So I should really be promoting their things. It is no, it's saving every single discrete image. So at the end, if I click the take picture button, right, that will give me a 32-bit per channel image that I can adjust on my phone or do whatever it is. So it's not like 8-bit per channel like most images. It's like super high quality. But on the telescope, the raw images are like PNGs, which are 4-second exposures, which are all aligned. And then you can do your own alignment and your own curves and everything before that. I'm not sure if lighter than air drones really help that much. Leave it on the horse head for half an hour. Yes, there is there's a Falcon 9. There is also SLS. There's Blue Origin's New Shepard. Do I get involved in UCSC? Who's UCSC? University. I don't know what that is. University of California, Santa Cruz? I get involved when people invite me out and say, hey, you should totally come down. We'll, like, buy you a beer. You're definitely seeing Thargoids in there. Oh, Caleb. Do I have any filters? No, so you don't use... There's no filters on this. That is one of the nice things I think about the Celestron Origin, is that it does seem to support filters. Yeah, absolutely. It's a reflection thing. Reflection nebula. It's basically... I remember these... I think it was Cosmos was the name of the book. And it had this image from David Malin showing the Pleiades in there. And it always struck me as being like, pretty cool. Yeah, you can just about see the nebulosity in the background. Now, this is one maybe I should try doing the edit on. So if we turn off automatic, it's going to do this. Now, I'm going to try... Oh, I don't know how well this works. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's try dragging it further. Okay, that doesn't work. These sliders are really designed for the app. So I'm using this app, which is actually designed to run on a phone. I'm using it via like a remote desktop, basically. So it's not great. Like, some of the things don't quite work the way you would expect. But yeah, look, you can definitely see that nebulosity in there coming out. Kind of neat. Can I see Kerbin from here? Probably not. Yeah, I need to figure out gravitational lensing. I don't know if there's places that let you see gravitational lensing in this. I don't know if there's a desktop app. I've been away, so I've had a very limited amount of time to work on this. Oh man. So I did make a video about this on the actual channel, by the way. So anyway, let's pick a new location. Where should we go next? I'm going to take suggestions for some place that we can actually go. So look, here's the thing. If you imagine it's taking 32, maybe it's taking 12-bit images, right? Then you could, if it takes 16-bit images, you could take a really large number of images before we get to place. it has to be something that's actually visible. Yeah, we definitely would take a lot of stuff. Okay, first of all, it has to be a place that is high above the horizon. You go. Oh yeah, I hear. While this is running, let's see if we can go and look at the gallery because I definitely took a picture of Andromeda earlier. There we go. There's a picture of Andromeda that I took earlier. Do I have an OnlyFans? Nope. I'm sorry, I do not. I don't know why people would pay, money every month to see me pick my nose. So this is Alpha Centauri. I think the moon is too low on the horizon. I can take a look, but I don't think it'll work. Would you? Yeah, I'm not doing any of that stuff right now. Let me just let's see where M1 is. Oh, actually, let's see. Let's see where Orion is right now. Great Nebula in Orion. How high? That's 3 degrees. Let's not do that. Where's Jupiter? How high up is Jupiter? Jupiter is 26 degrees above the horizon. We might be able to see that. You think Saturn? You think we could see Saturn? It is 41 degrees above the horizon. It's not going to be great. We could definitely go there. And go to. So. Yes, I see a blue Uranus. Blaze star. I do not have the best version of the telescope. I've got the beginner's version of the telescope. Mostly because they basically they wanted to give me something and I needed it before the storm rolled in. So it's like, this is the only one that we've got available that you can take with you right now. So it's like, great, I'll take it. And then, of course, the storm rolled in. M38, you want me to point to M38? So the imaging of planets is slightly different because it has to use lucky imaging. What that does is it takes multiple images and then looks for the ones that are most in focus. It's actually taking, like, I think it's doing like 30 frames per second, and it's only taking the ones that are looking nice and clean in focus. Yeah. Clear sky. That's what we're looking at. Yeah, the Sea Star has that nice option. Uh, Having said that, it is a software feature which could easily be added if they work on their software. Sirius is. Can you be serious? The Orion Nebula is 3 degrees above the horizon right now. It is going to be too dark. Okay. Or too low. That's Saturn. So let's zoom in. You can see it has rings. Okay. I guess I gotta zoom out a little. Come on. Yeah, we're obviously operating like a phone keyboard. I wish I could straighten this thing. It's not. It. Oh, that. Oh, I get what I do. If I click on it. Hold on. I zoom out, right? And then click on it. That's the center of the zoom. And then zoom in. Ah, there I go. There I go. I'm just trying to gently zoom in. it's The zoom is just like infinitely fast. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's not bad. So there is the rings are relatively edge on at this time. Can we see the ring shadow, or is that fake detail? What do you think? What can you see in Vega that's interesting? A Titan would be nearby, but if you do point at Titan, it's going to be the main thing is going to be so much brighter. The moons are too dark because their pixels are way smaller, right? Does that make sense? Since the moon pixel at this scale is a fraction of a pixel, it's going to be completely blown out compared to the actual planet, which does full pixels. Anyway, yeah, that's taking like real images. There is no manual collimation on this, David. This is the stuff does its automatic alignment and everything in it. So there's no manual focusing or anything. You want to see if we can find the Crescent Nebula? How about that? Is that going to be visible? Let's take a look. Right. Crescent Nebula, it says 44 degrees. Let's try this. Okay. Yeah, so you can do things like that for sure. Let's see if we can see the Crescent Nebula. It's going to think about this for a minute. Oh, it's thinking. Oh, I think I lost the thing. There, it's slewing to slewing to target. Yeah. Yeah, so the Odyssey doesn't have these manual screws. It's all a self-contained unit. It does its own focusing and everything. Like, they certainly don't give you any guide. It may need a filter. Okay, so you're saying that the thing you pointed me at, it'll need a filter. There's no filters for this. The red dot? What are you talking about, the red dot? Tucson! I like Tucson. I was looking at the Pleiades earlier, yes. By the way, that pink cursor, yeah. My cursor, I turned it pink because I kept on losing it for a while. So, I did it the one color that would stand out against everything else that I look at. We're going to see if we can take a picture of this nebula, but as many people pointed out, it might be just too dark to see anything. With this scope, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, why has it gone into this mode? For some reason, I seem to have lost the... Oh, you know what? Oh, yeah, you know what's happened is I've run out of memory, I'll bet you. I bet you it's going to say, oh, you're out of memory. My telescope. Storage, 99%. So I can't upload anything. So, status, observer, rate request. Take back control of my telescope. I don't know the telescope. It seems to think that I am no longer controlling my telescope. That's great. Let's go back to home. Let's go back to watch. Okay, so for some reason I cannot control this thing right now. So I might have to do some maintenance. Or what I might have to do, download more storage, yes. Let's go back to watch. I need to type in the serial number of this telescope, which I don't know. You know what I should do is actually, how about I just disconnect, turn to with name. I can't even disconnect from the telescope. That's funny. It's written on the label, but the telescope is on my route. That's funny. What I do need to do is just disconnect from it, I think. Let's search for a telescope. Oh no. Okay. Can't turn it off. Well, the manual controls are... Yes, they're not there. Yeah, crawl onto the roof and push it. It's on the box. I don't have the box. I have a backpack, which is great. That's right, any neighbor with a telescope can totally read the serial number and take control of my telescope from me. I can do that right now. What I'm going to do is turn my telescope off and on again. So, you get to see how this is done. Because it's not pretty. Right? Ooh. I could try restarting the app, or I can try restart. Oh, here's the problem. The telescope is facing the wrong way. It's up on the roof there. So I have to be very careful. Shit. So the button is on the wrong side of the telescope for me. Give me a minute. What I'm going to do first, so the phone will probably go away. Okay, what I'm going to do is like this. Kill the app. Bring it back up. And try to connect again. Search. No. Turn off. Connect. Okay, we're just doing the reconnect process. Yeah. I mean, let's just give you an idea of what we're dealing with here. Okay, it's like a straight sheer drop in every direction. Yes. Don't pull a Griswold, yes. Okay, we can't find the telescope, so I think what I need to do is take the telescope down so I can hit the power button. This is not trivial because it's quite heavy. There. So this is the whole telescope, and this is the power button. Okay, power off. It should be off by now. Okay, now I'm actually gonna get the... Give me a second. I have to be careful to make sure, because I want to get the lens cover, because I want to recalibrate it. So let's put the lid on this for now, and we'll turn it back on. Okay, it's coming back on. This is going to take a minute. We should probably just like put this on top for now. Hi. Okay, I thought I had life in this. Connect. Try again. There it says the Odyssey. put my password in. Okay, setting up a connection, joining that network. It's doing something. Still thinking very hard. There we go. So now, what I'm going to do is close this and start mirroring the iPhone again, just so you can see this working it. Connecting to the phone that I own. Well, that's interesting. Let's try again. Connect. There we go. Okay, so I should be able to stick that underneath. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to calibrate the image sensor, my telescope. Sensor calibration. Calibrate. So what it does is it needs to take dark frames. This is basically taking a bunch of images now that the sensor is cold, and any hot pixels or any pixels that are maybe not hot, maybe they're just warm, maybe they're generating a little more noise than the other ones, those ones will get identified and their baseline will get constrained, so they'll know just where the 0 point should be for these pixels. So this will take a minute or so. Once this is done, I'll take the lens thing off and I'll put it back on the roof, and we should be doing fine. We should, you know, continue taking some pictures and stuff. And hopefully I won't fall off the roof. Obviously I put it up on the roof because, you know, that's where you can see things. I can put it down here, but then you can't see anything, you know, in that direction. Yes, I'm Scott Manley on the roof. If I was a Scotman, all day long I'd play with my telescope. If I were a Scottish man. Listen, I fly planes, right? Playing with telescopes is not something that's going to get me killed. I play with explosives from time to time. Not really, but I mean, okay, here we go. So, that's the lens cap. Now, this is where I gotta be careful. Ooh, yeah, let's not fall. Okay, so there is some clouds in that direction I'm seeing. A little bit of haze, so don't want to point to the north. Okay, so we've got this running. Let's go and align it again. Where's the thing? The orientation, so let's do that. So it's now going to start auto-orienting itself. Okay. Oh, back in my easy chair. Isn't that so much easier than doing actual telescoping? So just speaking about flying, is that I almost went flying today, but it turns out that my wife needed the car and Sky had borrowed the other car, and so I wouldn't have been able to get there, and then I found out that somebody drove their plane off the side of the runway anyway, so yeah. Why are you what's all the Scott? What am I aiming at? I'm not aiming at anything. I'm just trying to calibrate the telescope orientation. Safety third. Yes, I'm surrounded by a lot of burner people. That's right. It was a Citabria, I believe, November, was it 776 kilo? Yeah. Aim at Proxima Centauri. I mean, we might be able to see something of Jupiter. It wouldn't hurt to point it at Jupiter. But the problem is that when the thing is low in the sky, the the amount of detail you can pull out is a whole lot lower. It so it I don't know if there's a magnetometer involved. I think it uses its latitude and longitude to figure out where it is, and it knows where straight up is. Okay, so it looks like it's aligned to something. Oh, yeah, so let's... What did we want to find? Sorry, what object did we want to look for? No, 3 North American. You think the North American nebula is going to be visible? Is it 51 degrees? Let's go for it. It says west-northwest. It might be in the cloudy area. If I could have a space plane, I would absolutely fly it. I would jump at a chance to fly something like Virgin Galactic. Yes, Criminy, absolutely. If you want to look at amazing pictures of astronomical objects, you should do that. You should go and do that. I don't. I'm going to say I'm surprised at how good the image quality is, given the amount of light pollution and haze around here. I'm not sure I would fly Starship just yet. I think they need a lot of reliable flights before I'd commit to it. I mean, look at it this way, right? We talk about how boring landings of Falcon 9 are, and yet they've lost quite a few of those. The average, like the oldest ones are in their 20s. Think about that. That means there's like at most a 3% chance of it crashing and killing you. Would I fly? Of course I'd fly Starliner. It's not bad. This is totally live, yeah. I don't live in Melbourne. No, I live in Marin. You just paid $7,000 for a pilot's license? I hope you actually did some training in the real time. Oh, look, it's trying to do some focusing here. This is a problem. See how it's not focused correctly. That's not good. Maybe I should point it at something else. Notice how it tells you some stories about it. Okay, do those look like they're in focus? They don't look particularly in focus to me. Well, yeah, these look really not very well focused if you ask me. Well, let's just image it and see what happens. Because really we're interested in seeing nebulosity, right? Enhance. There's no manual focus. There is no manual focus on this. There's not even a way to say, please refocus it, you're out of focus. You can't adjust the collimation, Edward. Doesn't matter if you capitalize it. The collimation adjustment is not something that is on this model. It's not a $15,000 telescope. Yeah, Jeb left the snacks on the lens. We'll get to Jupiter after I've pointed at some stars for calibration. Yes, the telescope lost its focus. Yes, okay. Okay, are we going to see any actual nebulosity or anything? I'm not necessarily wedded to defending it. I'm just what I find is that I'll tell you what, if I my main criticisms of this is there's so many things that the software could do that it doesn't. Like so many places where I'd just like a button to say fix the damn focus. And it's like, no, I can make it fix the focus by pointing it at a bright star, but then you have to slew away from the object you were trying to image. Yeah, it needs more beer. Maybe I should get myself a beverage. The problem is I can't take the laptop with me. It's actually easy to focus at infinity. It tends to be the most relaxed type of focus you have. I mean, it's only a half-degree field of view. Come on, where's... This is the North American Nebula. I ain't seeing much nebulosity here. I don't know if I would trust ChatGPT to do anything to software, given the kind of boneheaded stuff that I see coming out of various, code assistance tools. That's kind of nice. But I don't see any nebulosity. What am I supposed to be seeing here? The stars are reddish. Yeah, I mean, there is some color here. Here's the thing, some of these things that are very small points, so it does lead me to believe that it may actually be in focus. Like, look at those nice small points. Yeah, this blue star down here. Oh, oh, oh. It's very weird. The focus activity is like super non-linear. I mean, if you want, I can point it at Jupiter. Ah. Point it at Uranus. Yes, of course. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the diffraction spikes should... I mean, that could be nebulosity. I don't know. That's what I'm figuring out. I think it is. I don't actually know enough about imaging a lot of these things. Let's actually look for Jupiter. Jupiter, we might be able to see some detail on. Curious Mark, how are you doing? We are just chilling out here, of course. Let's stop this observation. I have a lot of stuff to do. I should probably stop at taking photos. There you go. And there, now it's slewing to Jupiter. Again, Atomic Bear, there is no user interface that lets you manually focus this telescope. That is a problem. Well, here's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, I want only 4 megapixels. That's not very good. You have to understand that in astronomical telescopes, you're going for faint objects rather than detail. You want the bigger pixels so you get better signal to noise. You think the Crab Nebula is high enough? Yeah, I'm not sure it is, but we can take a look and see if the Crab Nebula is up there. It's not AI. It's just I. It's just not manual. We'll see if we can find if it can find Jupiter. Oh, that looks like what Jupiter is, and those are probably the moons next to it. See those bright spots? But when it adjusts its exposure, then those things will disappear. So we could actually specifically ask for like Io or something. This telescope is only 85 centimeter mirror. It's sorry, millimeter mirror. There we go. So that's Jupiter. Now, if we hit the observe button, it should start doing some, observing, right? So we select this, and it starts out as a smudge. I'm trying to pick. There we go. Let's see if it'll work a little better. So it's imaging this kind of low through the atmosphere. So there's going to be a lot more atmospheric noise that it has to deal with, right? But hopefully it'll start getting some of the images that are more in focus. And it'll start adding those in, and we'll start to maybe see the cloud bands. And it's not so much waiting to accumulate enough photons, it's waiting to accumulate enough stuff that's in focus. I can sort of see a band for sure. This is not nearly as good as the image that I picked the other night. You see, there's two bands definitely appearing. But again, if you want to get it higher up in the telescope, your $40 telescope. Hey, listen, I bought a $5 telescope once, new, right? So like, let's not talk about cheap telescopes. It's not that it's not in focus. I think that it's noise. If it wasn't in focus, it would actually be like, it would have a black dot in the middle. We totally made out the rings of Saturn. We already took a picture of Andromeda earlier. Again, I can point it at the Pleiades, and then that's probably a good thing for it to focus. Oh, man. You bought it. So Thomas Anderson, like when I bought a telescope, I was interested in taking pictures with it. And people said, no, you don't want to have a big equatorial, you don't want to have like this big, reflector on that equatorial mount. You want a big ass heavy mount for a small telescope. And that's what I ended up doing. And that ended up being pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to show you in the gallery the type of photo of Jupiter I took a few days ago. It's somewhere in here. There's comets. There's the moons. There's Orion. There we go. That's Jupiter that I took a few days ago. And not only can you see Jupiter, but you can actually see one of the moons right next to it. I mean, I'm presuming that's a moon. I'm imagining it. But yeah, you can get a fair amount of detail with this. Should we try it's M2, see how high that is. 32 degrees, let's try that. Maybe that'll fix the focus. We don't need to take any more pictures. 32 degrees is not enough for planetary imaging, but it's definitely going to be fine for shooting globular clusters. I used to have a 12-inch Dob, and I barely used it. That was the problem. I liked trying to take pictures of planets, but the truth was that I could never really, get the level of detail that was needed. Why can't we see Proxima b transits? I don't know. Probably you need some real big telescopes or clear, photometry or something. I don't think Betelgeuse is going to explode while watching. Remember, no, the 12-inch Dob was actually quite easy once it got set up. It was just it was actually lighter than my equatorial tripod. But it was big and I couldn't fit it in my car. I literally had a Mustang convertible And I remember driving it home from like Redwood City into Oakland, and I had it sticking up out of the back seat with duct tape holding on the lens cap. It's just a Viewmaster with buffering. There we go. M2 located at a distance of 55,000 light years. Yeah, I mean it was fine, but I guess the main thing was that I just didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed taking pictures. And I also realized that just photography was a lot more interesting a problem. So Corona Borealis, T Corona Borealis is supposed to go into a nova, or was supposed to have happened this year. Turns out it's not quite done that, so we're not sure when we're going to see that happen. Yeah, this is Messier number two. You can't be tired yet. I woke up at 5 a.m. because I was on East Coast time, and I actually did a live stream then. The problem was, well, we had some problems. We had like technical issues with focus and stuff like that. I really like the Orion Nebula because it's just fantastic. Come on, let's start getting the picture here. Okay, come on. Try to zoom in on this thing. That's no good. Come on. Ugh. It This is designed. I'm trying to use the mouse pad the way I would use a phone screen, and it doesn't quite work. Okay, let's just leave that for a bit. This is not a comet. Don't look at it. You cannot criticize the software for this because I'm using iPhone mirroring on software that isn't designed for use with a mouse, right? Let's be clear. Yeah, the Orion Nebula should be really fantastic when it gets high enough in the sky. So this will hopefully image for a minute and then a couple of minutes, and then we'll be able to see some colors and stuff. Can you plug in a mouse to my phone? They're both images are both from my phone. It's just one is zoomed in a little. I don't think no, the arrow keys don't work because they're not bound. That's the thing. Like it's all designed for user it's oh the Oh, everyone's buying those i4 M4 Mac Mini. Yeah, M4 Mac Mini looks is so hot. It's so good. I can't get the halfway version. Okay, there. That's a bit better. We're starting to see some stuff. Have we got the color thing? Yeah, the color enhancing icon has come on, so we can actually see stuff. Try the globular cluster in Hercules. How much longer do we want to expose this thing? It's working pretty well now. I mean, I'm using a mouse with the iPhone right now. Just look at it. Like I'm using this is simulating an iPhone here. You just can't see off the top, but look, there is actually a battery and phone indicator and everything there. So that's how this works. It looks like an atom. Up and at them. It's a lot of stars. It it's too easy. Yes, there is definitely that fact, but you know what? I'm sort of enjoying messing around with it, and I'm enjoying hanging out. At some point, I will have to disconnect and go and do other things. We're looking at the M2 cluster, so oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's go to the catalog. Should we search for when's the Crab Nebula gonna appear? It is 27 degrees up. Let's go and see if we can see the crab. So that's M2. And you keep saying that where's the double globular cluster? It's you know what's funny about this thing is that one of the things we're really interested in talking about is the Vera Rubin telescope, right? The LSST, and that is slewing and tracking faster than this thing. It is a 300-ton telescope or something ridiculous. You know, it's like a 10-meter wide thing that can slew like this fast. It can go from one side of the sky to the other because they want to have it able to track targets. They want to have it able to survey the entire night sky every few days. Hey Nom, have a good night, sleep tight, fly safe, or whatever. Why am I biased against SpaceX? I'm not. Only crazy people think I'm biased against SpaceX. Just because I'm not constantly saying SpaceX are amazing just means that I'm normal, right? There are all these like SpaceX fanboy channels, and quite frankly, they're full of people that I'm not interested in, right? There is an asteroid named after me, as unfortunately on the other side of the sun right now. The best open cluster is M37. Yeah, it's Thunderfoot. He's hilarious. Thunderfoot, of course, told everybody that this telescope doesn't work. I think that was one of the comments when I made a video about this. Is like, didn't Thunderfoot like, you know, debunk this telescope? And it's like, yes, didn't he debunk Starship? Thunderfoot has done some great engineering takedown videos. He has done some good ones, but he is also totally on the like anti SpaceX bandwagon. And because there are people that want to watch that. There are people that want to watch people that are total Elon fanboys, and there are people that will absolutely be total Elon haters, and I am neither of those. I'm just a dude who likes rockets and stuff, right? I'm pretty chill. Like, I could make a ton of money by just doing one thing or the other. I am probably losing money by constantly sitting on the fence, right? Also, there are channels that are just all about how China is doing amazing stuff all the time. And there are channels that are all about hating on what China is doing. Again, I'm not there. Right? I just want everyone to be happy. Like the funny thing is, if you look, like, channels that focus on negativity tend to actually get more views than the ones that focus on the positive side of things. And that is my other half just arrived back. Hello. just taking pictures of nebula. I can see Grant, but the nebula, the globular cluster in Hercules. Oh.
Things are happening.
Yes, we're taking pictures of crab pulsars. I'm trying to zoom in just the right. There's definitely something weird that happens with the zoom. There's like no middle point. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that level of zoom for now. I don't play the algorithm. I don't ask people to like, subscribe, or comment. You can totally do that if you like. We do have a cat.
We have two cats.
Yes, this is the Crab Nebula. It's starting to come in. I also have a dog as well. Have I had a UAP encounter? Your funny thing is, I have a whole video about having a surprise unidentified aircraft encounter while flying. Like it came out of nowhere and then disappeared into nowhere. There's a whole explanation I had to come up with explaining how ADS-B and TIS-B and everything interacted to create this imaginary encounter. It was a fascinating story in my mind. It is like you're literally it's not quite watching paint dry, but it is. It's like, watching the photons come down in 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Grant Bonnell, I have seen you say the globular cluster in Hercules a million times, and we're not going to do this until this works. Yeah, the issue between the touchpad and the chair. We're starting to get some colors coming out of this thing. I think we've got to let this go for longer. Yes, my wife was born in this country. Yes. But not here. Yeah, we're watching the photons get stuck to the sensors. Yeah, you leave, go and fix dinner. I know we're doing like the short exposure. I might leave this one running for a whole lot longer. We're starting to see some color and stuff come out. It still looks out of focus. I mean, I've zoomed in on it a bit. Why is it called the crab? I guess somebody thought it looked like a crab. It's not in Cancer, is it? Trying to think. Hold on. Photon. Yeah, nebulas are fuzzy by nature. Yeah, I thought it would be.
That's the word nebulous.
Yes. Oh no, right, so Scorpio, that's the one that's opposite Orion in the sky. Because part of mythology has that Orion gets stung to death by a scorpion, and they're both raised to the heavens to, commemorate or to reward them for their, important things they did.
Orion fucked up. That's why the scorpion's there.
Well, it's more like Orion was like, I'm gonna hunt everything on this planet.
It had to do with the women, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Diana or Artemis, basically, depending which mythology.
Zeus was pissed off.
Not quite. So, like, as I understand it, Orion basically boasts that he's going to hunt all the animals to show how good a hunter he is. And then the goddess is like, no, you can't do that. And he's like, doesn't matter. I've told you. I'm totally going to do it because I want to. And so she goes to Zeus, and Zeus is like, oh, he can't hunt all those. That would be terrible. And so Zeus sends a scorpion to sting him to death because apparently scorpions don't count as an animal that Orion would want to hunt. So that's how Orion ends up, like, it raised to the heavens. Yeah, Zeus was like just pissed off naturally, you know? He was just like, "Hey, let's get mad at something. Let's throw thunderbolts at somebody." We are looking at the Crab Nebula, yes. Scorpions were his one weakness, possibly. Orion chases the ladies in the Pleiades. That is an interesting statement. The most dangerous rocket fuel that has ever been used is probably the tripropellant rocket, which is like lithium, liquid lithium, liquid fluorine, and liquid hydrogen. That's also most performant. But you know, there's also some really scary ones, like the mercury as a propellant. That's pretty scary. But anything with fluorine in it is definitely incredibly scary as a propellant. I should definitely snap that photo. Leave that running. How long? Oh, so the Crab Nebula, I believe it exploded in human history, and it was a supernova, and it's visibly expanding. So if you want, so the details on the telescope is it's a Unistellar Odyssey Pro, and there is still a deal on. And if you look in my description, there's the link and all that. If you want to get the discount and get the free filter and stuff, and if you have the money to do that, yeah, it makes a great Christmas present. What about combining ion thrusters and combustible propellant? The problem with ion thrusters is you're creating ions, and ions love to react with things, which is why the best ion engines are the ones. Well, it's actually one of the reasons. The, uh, noble gases tend to have outer electrons that are easy to knock off, but also they're desperate to not interact with anything. So that's why noble gases are so popular with ion thrusters. Hmm. Oh, so you bought a C Star S30. Yeah, I mean, like, you're not going to get nearly the resolution, but if you're doing it on your own, there's no zoom on it. No, there's the field of view is what you're talking about. Field of view is fixed. Like, I'm sure we can bring out more color in this thing by loading it into a thing. You think it looks like a crab carapace? Imagine the colors with noble engines. There's definitely some color in this. The stars are almost as colorful as Skittles. I think it is the supernova that was documented by the Chinese in the 10th century or 11th. So when you hit the take photo button, it turns up on your phone as a PNG with like 32 bit per channel bit depth. And I don't know what other qualities it exports as. Oh, you can see stuff with this. The problem is it's really not a real-time view telescope. Right, yeah, you can adjust brightness here, right? So what you can do is turn off automatic. I've done this earlier tonight. And, I can try to see what that does. It doesn't work very well, that's the problem. And this is not, this is partly the problem is that I'm running like a remote desktop, so it's not responding as quickly as I'd like. You can try also running the Android app on the desktop. Then you run into the problem, to be clear, that the device needs to use Bluetooth and Wi-Fi at the same time. So if I want to stream, then I need another Wi-Fi adapter, or I need a physical connection or something. This is why I've sort of got this weird setup where the phone is sitting out there and it's actually handling talking to the telescope. Apparently, it is possible to detect exoplanet transits. Oh. Oh, what happened? This is the worst Kerbal video I've ever done. What? There's not enough explosions. Ugh. It's true. Like, I think there is an internal web server and you use it for a whole bunch of things. Anyway, I'm going to do this. What I can do is run that, go back to the observation page, let it run for a second. Oh, you know, you can actually see the pulsing of the pulsar. Not necessarily in this, but it is possible. Okay, so now we got a picture. We need 3 little green men in the lower. I could add 3 little green men. There's spots here. Okay, somebody really wanted to see the cluster in Hercules, right? Let's just see where Orion is. How high? 13 degrees. I think that might be doable. We'll do this as the last one tonight, right? I mean, this is space stuff, Gary. It's going to depend on whether the trees are in its way. We have a bunch of trees, but I think we might be okay. You think the focus is not quite right? Yes, the Rosette Nebula, yep. Also near Orion is the Horsehead. Oh, that looks like an Orion Nebula if ever I saw it. What do you think? Oh, yeah. It's an extremely active star-forming region. Vasimir would be great if they could make it work. Nope, I have not shown anybody's Uranus. This is a Unistellar telescope. Okay, so it's... Oh, wait, it's doing some focusing. It's still thinking about the focusing. So you can see the shape of the secondary mount on it. Okay, it's decided. Let's start exposing. So this should come out and it should get nice and you know, colorful in a minute. Yeah, when you take long exposures of Orion, you can see geostationary satellites crossing. Oh yeah, I actually see a satellite, yeah. Is that a satellite that's moving through the frame? Yeah, and it's fading away now, huh? I photographed, yeah, this is like the standard thing that you do. No, actually, it's pretty common. It's easy to see geostationary satellites at Orion. Uh-oh, we have a problem with the bubble level. The funny thing is, we've met Destin a couple of times, and we never have actually worked together. We did actually. He did actually talk to him about video games on one of his podcasts. Okay, so we seem to be stuck. This is the Odyssey Pro. Yeah, for some reason it keeps on getting this disrupted thing. It'll hopefully fix itself in a minute. Okay, I'm going to stop this and then I'm going to start it again. You never thought that you could live stream. You never thought that people would watch paint drying? Because that's really what we're doing. Come here, watch paint dry. I think I'm the bonus content because he was talking about Battle of BTAC 5RB. Okay, let's see if it... Yeah, 24 seconds now. We did slightly better. Yeah, maybe it was a bird decided to land on top of it, or a bat or something. So you can actually see the structure running up here. Does anyone ever remember the days of progressive JPEG downloading? That's a good question, actually, because a lot of the images we see through telescopes with our eyes are flipped, and I never really thought, is the real thing, is this flipped or real? Yeah, if I could crank up the brightness, I probably would. Um, That's right, real networks. You're right, they were called progressive networks. I totally had never made the connection before. Oh, there we go. Look, it's totally turned up the color now. It's added the paint. Isn't this beautiful? That's a very nice picture, huh? I think at this point, this is going to be the last one we run tonight. I might just, like, shut down the camera and leave this running for a little while. Because, I got stuff to do here. I get people to hang out with. I get bins to put out. Stuff to clean up. And then, I also need to do some time playing Flight Simulator 2024. There's all these things that I have to do. I don't know if you could track GEO satellites, but I would like to. If I could write the code for this at a low level, I would absolutely do that. Yeah, this is a nice image that's coming out of this thing. Yep, Edward, if you look at the link in the description, then and you use that purchase link, then I do get a discount. I get some income, and there's a code there that gets you a free solar filter. So consider that. It's not clear how the enhanced color stuff is doing, but given that I was able to put color in images using pretty much raw data, I don't think it's a big deal. I tried taking a picture of Mars earlier. The problem is it's about 120 million miles away. It's too far away. I'm not going to talk about Proba 3. Sorry. Just because some maniac keeps asking me. Hey, just remember telescopes and astrophotography may seem expensive, but it's a lot cheaper than flying. I think this Horsehead Nebula will take a lot of exposure time, so that's why I might just leave this running. Cheaper than Warhammer. Oh boy, yes. I'm not sure. Yes. Like, Warhammer is just expensive in terms of cash for the models and then time to paint the models. If this person keeps asking about Proba 3, I will explicitly forget about it in the next Deep Space updates and not mention it. Because clearly there's someone from India that is desperate for me to talk about it. Oh, you're into horology. That means you collect clocks or watches or the other things. This would be a lot better if the user interface was something I could control remotely. That's looking pretty good. The thing is, like, the quality, it starts getting, the rate at which things improve sort of goes as a square root of time. So to get it twice as good, you need to take four times as much time, visual, imaging time. Yeah, I would love to know how to build watch movements. That would be amazing. It is Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this kind of weird setup. The phone outside is talking to the telescope, and my laptop is talking to the phone. Anyway, I am gonna say my good nights. I'm gonna leave this running for another maybe 10 minutes or so, but thanks for showing up. Thanks for supporting in whatever way. Um, I'm gonna make some more videos later this week, and I'll see you guys later. I'm Scott Manley. Fly safe.